beautiful friends, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Anna and today we're making tacos al pastor. If you are not familiar with tacos al pastor, they're these delicious little street tacos made by marinating pork meat in a wonderful earthy chile tasting slightly sweet marinade. It's usually you could say slow roasted on a vertical spit. That's how it's usually done in Mexico. Obviously I don't have one of those in my kitchen, so I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a trick that you can do to kind of have the same effect, you could say. So very simple, very delicious. It's one of my all-time favorite tacos. So let me show you the ingredients so we can go ahead and get started. I know I have a few ingredients in front of me, but don't be intimidated because, like I said, these are very simple. So you're going to need, we're going to start off with our meat. Here I have a pork shoulder. I recommend using either a pork shoulder or pork butt. You need a meat that's not too lean. You want a good amount of little fattiness in there. It gives it flavor. Salt and pepper, onion, garlic, guajillo, chiles. These are not very spicy, so again, don't be intimidated if you're not very good with spice like I am. I don't really have a high spice tolerance, so I'm telling you, these are not very spicy. If you can't find guajillo chiles, you can use New Mexico chiles, and they're kind of like the same thing. They're a little different, but they're very similar. Pineapple, again, I'm going to talk about this in just a second, but you're going to need a pineapple, some pineapple juice, apple cider vinegar. You can use regular vinegar, like regular wine vinegar. If you don't have apple cider, I just like the taste of the apple cider because it's not as strong. Orange juice, which I have my other orange here that I have to use. And now in here I have a few spices. So let's start right here. I have some allspice, clove, cinnamon, well, this is cumin, cinnamon, oregano, cilantro, or coriander, whatever you can find, and some ancho chile. Usually I will use another ancho, like a dried ancho chile, but I couldn't find any at my grocery store this time around and I ran out, so I'm using some ancho chili powder because I always have that on hand. And you're also going to need a tiny bit, like a bay leaf, a small little bay leaf. That is pretty much it. Then to serve, you're going to need some extra onion, cilantro, fresh cilantro, and any other type of sauce you may want to add to your tacos. And of course you're going to need your tortillas because you can't make tacos without tortillas. I'm going to de-seed my chiles. That's going to make it even milder. Your chiles have a lot of little seeds in them, as you can see. In here I have a bowl with some warm water, and we're going to place our chiles inside because these are dry, so we want to hydrate them a little bit. So I'm just gonna let them sit in the warm water. Make sure it's the water's a little bit warm so they soften a little bit faster for about 5 minutes. To my blender cup, I'm going to add pretty much all of the ingredients. So you want to peel your garlic. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. You want to peel your garlic, and I like to cut mine in half just so it's easier to blend. Okay, just like so. I'm going to add in half of my onion because I'll show you what we're gonna do with the other half once we get there. So again, you want to peel it. I like to cut mine into quarters. That way the blender can chop it up a little bit faster and easier. You're going to add your pineapple juice, your apple cider vinegar. I do need to finish juicing my orange. Let me see, I'm gonna need about half a cup of orange. So that's gonna be about 2 oranges. Okay. Yep, so you're gonna need about 2 big oranges. We're gonna add that in. Now we're going to add in all of our spices. I think I might have forgotten to mention this, but you're going to need some achiote powder or the paste. I can never ever find the paste in any of my supermarkets nearby, so if you have the powder, use that, and that's what's going to make, it's also known as annatto. That's what's going to make your marinade really red and vibrant and beautiful. My chiles, yep, they're soft, so I'm going to add them in just like so. And now we're going to blend this all together with a little bit of salt, which I'm going to add in right now. So you're going to add a good pinch of salt. And I always like to do a little bit of pepper, not a lot of pepper, like that. And now I'm going to blend this off camera, and I'll be right back so we can continue to our next step. Okay, so my marinade, I'm not gonna add all of it. We're gonna leave a little bit, just like that. My marinade, as you can see, look how beautiful this color is. It's really bright red, and you might think that looks very spicy, but I promise you it's not. It's actually quite mild. To the other half of the onion, I'm just going to slice it, because I like to put this in between the slices of meat. Now the onion is done, we're gonna work on our meat. So I like to cut my meat into pretty thin slices. So you want something kind of like this. As you can see, it's not too thick, it's not too thin. So you can see I cut them into good little slightly thin slices. I'm going to add it to the marinade along with the sliced onion. I'm going to mix it around so everything is well combined and all the meat is coated with the marinade. Let me add the rest of the marinade all over the top, just like so. Look at that, that's beautiful. And this marinade, it's good for up to 3 pounds of meat. This looks good. And now I'm going to cover it, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge for about 2 hours. I do want it to obviously marinate, so all of the beautiful flavors infuse the meat. So you can do at least 30 minutes, but do let your meat marinate for a little bit before you start to cook it. The meat marinated for a good 3 hours. Now we're back. I did remove it from the fridge about 30 minutes ago. So let's work on our pineapple. If you're using fresh pineapples, of course you can do this without the fresh pineapples, and there's 2 ways to do this. One, you can just oil your baking sheet and pretty much just throw all the meat and the onions in there and bake it at 350. By the way, start preheating your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's preheated by the time you are ready to cook the meat. Just pretty much add everything to the baking sheet. You cook it for, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes, and you're good to go. But I saw this little trick on TV and I thought it was genius, so I've been recreating it ever since. Every time I make tacos al pastor, I'm going to cut off about, I would say, about 3 inches of the bottom part of the pineapple, 2 to 3 inches. I wish my pineapple was a little bit, it smells great. It's not as ripe as I would want it, but that's fine. So you want to place your pineapple, the bottom part of your pineapple, on your baking sheet. And now you're gonna get some skewers here. These are metal skewers, but you can use wooden ones. Just make sure you soak them in a little bit of water first, and you want to insert your skewers. You can do, I think 2 or 3 will work, into the pineapple. Let me see, I don't think you're seeing what I'm doing here. Okay, there we go. So you want to insert it just like that. So I'm going to remove the top. Now I'm just going to peel the pineapple. So you just want to go around it. You just want to go around and remove all the little eyes. Okay, I do want to try it. I want to see how sweet it is. Ah! It's pretty delicious. I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut it in half again, lengthwise. And I simply want to cut down, and this is the core. This, so you know, it's quite hard. So we don't want that because you really can't eat it. So you just want to go down and remove the hard core. You're going to feel it's really hard. Now we're going to cut these into little chunks. So you want to cut down, you want to cut them into slices first, and then you want to go in and chop it up. I think I want mine a little bit smaller, so I'm going to go in again and just dice them a little smaller, but you can leave them as big or as small as you like. Let me put this aside so we can continue working on the meat. So now you just simply want to get some of the meat and you want to just insert it down the skewer. You also want to grab a little bit of onion. You're gonna place the onion in between the layers. You're gonna have something that looks kind of like this. You can see it's as similar as we can get to a vertical spit. Now, this is going to bake in our preheated oven. Remember, it's at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Look, mine it's ready. For hour and a half. Obviously, you want the meat to be all cooked through. So mine is gonna take about hour and a half. The meat needs about 10 more minutes, so it's the perfect time to start working on our topping. I'm going to be making a pineapple salsa to top my tacos. I'm going to cook our previously chopped pineapple in a hot skillet. This is going to bring out the pineapple, the sweetness in the pineapple a little bit more, and I really enjoy it. So in this other bowl, I'm going to add my very finely chopped onion. I just like mine very finely chopped. I don't want huge pieces of onion. My chopped cilantro. Okay, I just want the pineapple to get slightly charred. I just want it to cook down a little bit. So I'm going to add the juice of 1 lime. Now we add a pinch of salt, and we're gonna wait for our pineapples. This is good. I'm not gonna let it shard too much. I just wanted to cook for about, I think it cooked for about 4 minutes on high heat. I'm just gonna add the pineapples straight into my bowl. Okay, and now we just mix everything together. And there you have your pineapple salsa. Now this is gonna go on top of our tacos and it is gonna be wonderful. It just makes the tacos so yummy. The meat is wonderful, it smells great. Just so you learn from our mistakes. By the way, this is not the first time this has happened to me, nor the second. This is like the third time I make this mistake. Make sure you line your baking sheet with some foil. I always tend to forget, I don't know why. It's just easier to clean up, as you can see, as the juices kind of like spill. It kind of burns a little bit, but it's all right, it's fine. So I'm going to let the meat just rest. My tortillas are done. I am anxious to try the meat. And you're probably wondering, why are you heating up a pan again? I'll show you why. You really don't have to do this. I can't, this step just takes it to a whole different level. So I'm going to slice the meat. Oh, it's perfectly cooked. here I have the amount of meat that I'm gonna eat now. And in that same pan, I added about a tablespoon of oil, 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil. Now I'm going to chop the meat just a little bit. And now here's what I'm gonna do. To my hot skillet, I'm going to add the meat, and I'm gonna saute the meat just until it gets kind of like crispy all around. This is what they do. If you ever had tacos at a restaurant or at a food truck and you're wondering why their tacos are so good, it's because they prep the meat in advance and then they just give it a quick sear before they serve it, and the meat just gets the most beautiful color. So I do like to take the extra step. It only takes like 1 or 2 more minutes, and I just like to give the meat that beautiful sear. The meat is looking exactly how I want it. It's absolutely beautiful. Now we are going to assemble our tacos. So I got my tortillas, beautiful tortillas. We add our meat. Okay, look at that. The meat is beautiful. And we just add a little bit of our pineapple relish over the top. There we go. And that's it. You just pretty much dig right in. I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit. And look at that. If you don't have fat dripping down your hand, you're not doing it right. You're just not doing it right. You need that little bit of fat dripping down your hands, you know? It's like heaven in my mouth. Beautiful, savory, slightly smoky, sweet flavor from the pineapple. These tacos are truly one of my favorite, and if you try them, you know why. So make sure you go to my website, anitasdelightsrecipes.com, so you can see the full written recipe with all the ingredients and all the measurements you're gonna need. Make the tacos. Perfect for Cinco de Mayo. If you like the recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.